Okay, today's meeting is 1st of April. If everyone would join us for the pledge of allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Minutes, I've got one set of minutes as for the commissioner minutes dated March 18th, 2025. Do I have a motion?
I move to approve, Mr. Chairman.
Second? Second. Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. Do we have any reports?
Yeah, open reporter fees report.
Okay, let's show the clerk and recorder receiving their most recent update. So
How much did we make last month?
last month,
How much the total on that?
here is
7,400? Yeah, that's about average.
average.
That's from March. Yeah. Good.
Yeah, you should have, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can tell them, no, I wanted just to make note of it in the minutes that we received that.
Oh, yes, if you would please. Okay, Helen, calendar review, please.
Okay, tomorrow at 1 is Beaverhead Dairy Large Working Group meeting in Butte. Thursday, road safety meeting at 7, VTAC at 8. The health department sim review is at 1, survey review at 1:30. And Jefferson River watershed meeting in Whitehall is at 4. Anything else?
Anything else that
Commissioner Haggerty's Friday, and I have nothing on Monday.
Commissioner Goodall, do you have anything else?
I'm out Friday, Monday, Tuesday, I'll be back late Tuesday night, so.
Commissioner Curse, you have anything or update?
I'm just going into the legislature tomorrow afternoon to testify on House Bill 714. That's a family transfer bill. The central shop and road department safety meeting, did you say that one? You got that one? Okay. Then that Piedmont meeting Thursday morning. I'm not sure if you're going to that or not.
Not this one.
Is this the
Following.
tour one where they're just going out to look at the
Sort of
site?
preliminary,
Okay.
yes.
All right. And the growth policy open house for the Boulder area is this Thursday night as well. I'm not
Okay.
sure when the other ones were.
Oh, tomorrow at 4:30 in Whitehall.
In Whitehall, okay,
Yes.
Montana City. I'm not sure when that one is.
I don't know either. I remember seeing it, I think I got it noted down somewhere.
So I'll probably go down there for an hour or so, see if anybody shows up, and that'll be it.
There is a Elkhorn Working Group meeting on Tuesday, but I already talked to Susie and told her I wasn't gonna be there.
Okay.
Okay, anything else, commissioners?
That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Okay,
That's all I have.
thank you, sir. Okay, commissioner reports, Commissioner Cruz.
All right, back on the 19th, we had a JLDC meeting up in the Montana City Grill. Whitetail Center is close to getting a lease signed for their area that the Western Legacy Center exited out. It's gonna be a physical therapy outfit out there, so that'll be nice.
Yeah.
HSI, sounds like they're still moving forward with their project out there, just trying to get things organized to hopefully get a project out at the South Business Park out there. It sounded like CTAC's gonna do a tour of the water treatment facility one of these days. If you'd let me know when that gonna be, maybe it's the next CTAC. They're gonna go take a look at
I don't know, let you know.
the new water treatment facility down in Whitehall. I'd love to go to see that if I can shake loose to get down there. And I told JLDC also to submit a budget for the county like they normally do. Not that we're gonna accept it, but at least we'll have an idea what they're asking for. And we'll have to make hard decisions, I guess, whether we're gonna fund them or not fund them, or partially fund them, or what we're gonna do with them. So I told them, give us a budget, what you need, and we'll make a decision on it. So
Did you give them a time frame?
I just told them the regular budget.
Oh, okay.
It'll just be part of our regular budget
all right.
discussion, so. On the 26th, we had a solid waste safety meeting first thing in the morning, that everybody seems to be doing great, no accidents. Mike reminded them to make sure they're wearing their gloves this time of year, it gets warm, and don't forget to put your gloves on. And Jesse did a overview of the SDS documentation that's available throughout the county for any chemical substance. It used to be called an MSDS, now it's a, they took the M off, so SDS sheet, so that was kind of our training that morning. Later that day, I met with the Department of Corrections Director Gutkin and Deputy Director Strauss. And they just kind of filled me in on their possible, plans with the women's prison. Depending on what the legislature does and how they want to fund them. The Riverside out here would probably transition from the geriatric unit. They would move that to Deer Lodge. And then put, women prisoners that are mothers out here for kind of a low security outfit where the kids can come see their mothers that are incarcerated in the prison. So that's kind of cool. More longer term, they're looking for a place for a bigger women's prison to actually build a big women's prison, probably a 400 bed unit. And we are, Boulder is in the ranking for that. We're one of 3 counties. I think the other 2 are Butte, Super Bowl and Yellowstone and Billings. So that'll probably be becoming a bigger conversation as the legislature moves forward with the funding, whatever they're gonna fund them for. So they like our spot out here because it's close to Riverside, it's close to MHP, it's close to Elkhorn Treatment Center. We got, Yellowstone Boys and Girls Club, ranch out there right now. So it's kind of a suite of services out there. And they've got the land, they've got the, utilities, pretty much all the infrastructure's out there. So this is a pretty nice, spot for them to land if they do get the funding. Let's see, later after that afternoon, I went over with Corey Senna. He's part of the American Legion. He was trying to advocate to get some students from JHS to attend the Boys and Girls State. It's kind of a mock legislature and then county government and then city, local government. They do mock legislation and stuff like that. And I guess they've had a tough time getting enough people there, especially from our county. So he asked if I could go over and do that, which I did. And we had a great time with 4 different classes and just really drove home the importance of being engaged with your local government and participate in that. So turned out really good. Clancy Water Sewer, I did not drive over there. There was only gonna be 1 board member in attendance, but they did go ahead and do a meeting. I think they must have had the other ones on the phone or something. The legal tender, well tested, they call it an interval test, where they plug off the well and get water from this much of it, and they test it, and they plug it off and do this much, so they interval, see if they could get any better water, and they couldn't get any good water out of that well. It was high in fluoride and arsenic. They hadn't even got the results on the radionuclides yet, but that doesn't matter because the fluoride and arsenic were too high for public water supply. During that meeting, there came the possibility of a new test well site about 2 miles north of Clancy. Some people that have some property up there just bought the property, actually have a well there. So it would just be a matter of testing that well. So that's a new possibility. The problem is it's 2 miles north of Clancy, and distance may be a hurdle because of the cost of running pipes and all that stuff. So, and Megan said there's a possibility of some new grant coming out that might help them with a few $100,000 for this ongoing project. So, and you'll, I guess, catch the road department this morning. That's about all I've been up to, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner Doolittle.
Mr. Chairman, on 3/20, I attended the Area 4 Agency on Aging. Basically, they had an advisory board and a governing board, and they put them both together. And the state decided we couldn't do that because the advisory council board can't vote. So we changed that back. We added a nutritionist to the governing board. The financials on the budget for that board are good, and Montana's the 5th in the nation for people over the age of 65.
Wow.
24th, 25th, 26th, I attended the Mackers Conference in Great Falls. Lots of good information, presentations on HR leadership, networking with a lot of other commissioners, road personnel, and vendors regarding roads and all the new, for lack of a better word, snake oil razoo stuff that's out there. Survey review on 3/27 and spent yesterday regarding the tax abatement, which I believe is resolved now.
Commissioner,
That's all I have, sir.
thank you. On the 18th of March, Jefferson County DUI Task Force, Kelly Doherty from the county Attorney's Office advised the task force that from September 1st, 2024 to March 12th, 2025, in Justice Court, there were a total of 23 DUIs. 6 pled guilty, 8 jury trial, 2 pending sentencing, 2 pretrial, and I don't recall the rest as to what she said. In reference to district court, they had a total of 18 DUIs. 9 were resolved, 4 felony DUIs, misdemeanor DUI attached with a felony. And then there are 4th offense DUIs and 1 is 5th offense DUI. So 3 are a 4th offense and 1 is a 5th offense. Then on the 20th, the LEPC, which is a local emergency planning committee, meeting was held at Montana City Fire Hall. Northwestern Energy is going to implement more weather stations along their power transmission line within the corridor and install 10 more cameras. One is currently on the Depot Hill Road, where the Jefferson County Sheriff's radio site is located at here in Boulder, and possibly looking at another location on Beacon Hill in the near future. Then that same day, the library board meeting, the meeting was held in Boulder. The board recommended Ashley McCauley as a candidate to replace Jackie Teal's term as a board member due to Jackie's resignation. Then the 24th of that Monday, Parks Trails Recreation Commission. Commission had FWP Game Warden J.C. Benata, Montana State University Representative Kalina Miller as guest speakers regarding grizzly bear questions and concerns of what the commission could do to help facilitate information to the residents of Jefferson County. Also present was Kim Johnston from People and Carnivores, who was a field program manager from Dillon, representing our central and southern part of Jefferson County. And then as for today with the road crew, we met Beaverhead Deer Lodge and Helena National Forest met together with our road crew supervisor to discuss the roads that we've worked out before as for understanding and agreement. And not much has changed in regards to that. And except for as for the road crew itself, they've been very busy with the frost heaves. And then they were assisting the city of Boulder with millings on Thompson Street. And that's pretty much it, as Commissioner Doolittle covered the Mackers updates. Is there anything else that I missed? If not, that's pretty much it. Okay. All right, now we open it up to new opportunity for public comment. This is an opportunity for anyone that wishes to express their opinion. That's not on the agenda. Just understand that we cannot take any action on it. And if you wish to discuss, then I would ask that you identify yourself first prior to the discussion. So I open it up to whoever would like to talk. So. Sir. Okay.
My name is Dave Hanks. I live on 100 Corbin Road, and I'm here today to voice my concerns on and grievances on the CIP recycling resurfacing process on Corbin Road. On August 23rd, I called Jefferson City Police Department or Jefferson County Police Department and voiced my concerns over the dust issues that I had to deal with from the construction on Corbin Road. I asked to speak to Sheriff Tom and learned that he wasn't in his office. I let it be known then that it was too dusty for me to do any work in my shop. I asked then if it could be possible to get a deputy to park in my driveway to run radar on the traffic. I was informed then a deputy would get in touch with me, which nothing happened. The next day I text message to Sheriff Tom and Mr. Taylor, letting them know about the matter that I had to work with and that my family members had breathing, eye irritation, and sinus issues from the dust. In that text I sent to Mr. Taylor, I asked him for a list of chemicals that was in the reagent used in that CIP process. I got no response. On December 4th, because of health issues, I finally called the county health department. They referred me to Megan Bullock. So from August 24th to December 4th, there was no response on my grievances. About the dust. Megan at that time was the only one that took an interest in my grievances. She took the time to come out and listen to me and to see what what I had to deal with in working in the dust. I pointed out to her that the dust was essentially putting me out of business. I asked Megan if she could take an air sample. She informed me that the county had no means to take any kind of an air sample. I expressed to Megan about my concerns about polyethylene calamine used in the CIP resurfacing process. She admitted that she knew nothing about this new process and that she'd have to do some research on it and get back to me. It was a couple of days later, I noticed fluorescent orange flags on speed limit signs slowing down the traffic to 35 miles per hour, but we still had dust issues. On November 6th, I received a call from Corey Kirsch apologizing for the dust. I then voiced my concerns about the POEs in this new resurfacing project on Corbin Road. I asked him if I could get a material safety data sheet on the dust pods used in this CIP process. The reason why that is because I got no response from Mr. Taylor. A few days later, I received a materials data sheet in the mail. I also explained to Corey about how the dust had put me out of business. And I remember you said something about, well, maybe I ought to turn my losses in to my insurance company. And I got to thinking, why would I want to do that? I didn't cause the problem. My insurance rate goes on, whenever you use that, then my rates are going to suffer. On December 4th, I noticed a county water truck watering down the Corbin Road in the afternoon hours. This is one of 2 peak hours of traffic on Corbin Road. This only happened a couple of times and was not an everyday occurrence for dust suppression. In that short time after I noticed, a short time after that, I noticed a road grader coming by with blade down, trying to smooth out the road surface. I cannot know how far up Corbin Road they graded. On December 12th, Jim Murphy, Jefferson County health officer, texted me. He made arrangements to come out the following morning at 9:30. Jim also listened to my concerns concerns of health issues and grievances about being able to earn a living working my shop. Earn a living working in my shop because of the dust issues. We also talked about the POEAs. He said he would immediately get in touch with the DEQ. I had been working with Kristen Trapp at the DEQ office. She explained to me that she would turn my complaint over to the enforcement division, and soon I would know who the officer would be. It wasn't until December 18th, I got a call from Jim Murphy on who that enforcement officer was. His name is John Rasmussen. On that particular phone call, Jim explained to me that the DEQ's decision was to let Mr. Taylor, Jefferson County Road Department, come up with a solution to solve dust issues. I also learned on a prior commissioners meeting that the road department graded Corbin Road with carbide cutting blade. I learned that this process got the carbide so hot it was smoking. Now, I've been a machinist for 20 plus years, and I know about using carbide and the kind of abuse it can take with machining different alloys of steel. So in order for this abrasiveness on the road surface to generate that much heat and wear into the carbide blade, the road surface would have to be a 6 or 7 on the Mohs scale. Now, understanding this process of grading, you are leaving fine particulate abrasive dust on a road surface. The traffic gets this material airborne. This is shown in the pictures that I have presented to you in file. You can also imagine that you breathe this very fine abrasive particulate matter into your lungs. And it mixes with the internal fluids down in your lungs. What does it do to the human body? That same particular matter goes up into your sinuses and into your eyes. Now, I've got an eye problem because I thatched my yard down on near the Corbin Road, and the dust was so filthy on that road, off that road onto my grass. And you can see that in the pictures of the flower garden that goes alongside that road. I've got over 300-foot flower garden, and what that thing looked like in just a matter of weeks. That time of year, that garden should be a dull red. Those plants should be a dull red, not completely dried up. Anyway, getting back to this. That same particular matter goes up into your sinuses and into your eyes. You can now, you can understand now what we've been putting up with on the lower Corbin Road. You'll also know that when this road is wet, automobiles get slurry on it. And when it dries, you have to use a high pressure power washer with a nozzle inch away from the surface to wash this off. You simply cannot rub it off and get it clean like we were told in a prior commissioners meeting. You just use water, somebody said. I have 2 machines in my machine shop have critical wear points. The abrasiveness of this dust can permanently damage those machines. With all the dust in the air, I cannot paint. This essentially put me out of business. So from late August to date, my family still has medical issues breathing this dust. Excuse me. Now getting back to the material safety data sheets and dust pot. This company manufactures reagent that's introduced with water into the grinding machine. We find out that this has acrylamide in it, which the state of California has outlawed. This product contains a chemical known to cause cancer and birth defects and other reproductive harm. I brought up this acrylamide issue with John Raspman on March 7th, 2025. He admitted he had no certifications or qualified to make any decisions on this chemical acrylamide. He also stated in closing conversation that acrylamide was not on the hazard substance list in the state of Montana. Therefore, the DEQ cannot rule on this issue. Now, in order for you to understand this situation, you have to rid yourself of the mindset that California is in its own little world and that you can find just about anything you want when you're looking on the internet. With that mindset, you'll never be able to solve a problem. We all hope to mitigate a solution with the Corbin Road. In consideration, number one, you have to take in consideration on what has happened in the fact of my opinion so far. My rights have been violated. My 14th Amendment right according to the Constitution of the United States Constitution and my Montana constitutional right under the Montana Code Act 75-1-102. Number two, Montana Code 75-1-2103 has to be taken into consideration. Federal section, and number three, Federal Section 7401, Federal Clean Air Act 42 U.S. Code. Number four, Montana Code 7510, Part 7, remedial action upon releasing a hazardous substance, Section 8, Subheading A. Now, if you could pull that code out that I give you and read what Section 8, Subheading A is.
What was it?
What do you think?
What was the code?
Can you, okay. For her, she's transcribing, can you repeat that code again, sir, please?
It's 40 CFR 261.33.
And it's Montana Code 75-10-701. 7, part 7, remedial action upon releasing hazardous substance, and then section 8, subheading A. Can you read that out loud?
What's it? This
Section 8, subheading A.
subsection 8.
Yeah, subheading
Section
A.
A, substance that is defined as a hazardous substance by section 101, subsection 14 of the Federal Comprehensive Environmental Response Compensation and Liability Act of 1980. ERLA 42 USC 9601. 14.
Now at the top, you'll see that what it's saying is this, the Montana code, it mimics or it copies a federal code. The federal code 46, 261-33. You can see that at the top of that paper,
That's when we,
that top, if you read that paragraph.
Is, talking about this one, sir?
Yep,
we saw this, yep, I saw that. But I did not see the MCA Montana Code annotated.
yes, if you could read that.
With this one,
Yeah, just read that first paragraph.
in terms of CFR 4261.33, right?
Correct.
It says the following materials or items or hazardous waste, if and when they are discarded or intended to be discarded as prescribed in 261.2 parentheses A 2 parentheses I, when they are mixed with waste oil or used oil or other material and applied to the land for dust suppression or road treatment, when they are otherwise applied to the land in lieu of their original intended use, or when they are contained in products that are applied to the land in lieu of their original intended use, or when in lieu of their original intended use, they are produced for use as, or as a component of, a fuel distributed for use as a fuel or burned as a fuel.
Yeah, you can also see that it says, or other materials. Now, if you go into that second page, you will see it says the following materials. There's a list. This code is 81 pages long. I only took out the one that applies to our acrylamide. If you go down and you'll see the acrylamide is U007 79-6-06-1.
Okay,
Okay, now also, as you can see, we've got another water code. Acrylamide's on that. If you go down at the very bottom, same number, 79-06-1, and you can look what category it is. It is a carcinogen. And you can also see that it, human health standards, it's scheduled into the human health standards, not just fish, not aquatic life. Number 7, it's like I was just talking about. Number 7, Department of Environmental Quality. 7, that's this DEQ program right here. Montana Numeric Water Qualified Standard List of Acrylamide CASR number 79-06-1. And further research, I did find acrylamide is on Montana's hazard list. Kind of rebuffs on what Mr. Rasmussen said. And also in that file there that I give you, can also do an MS, a review of the MSDS for acrylamide. Now, establishing that acrylamide is on Montana state hazard list, you cannot deny that now we have hazardous substance in Corbin Road. Now it's been said that we can easily bust up the road surface using a rock grade blade to rake out the chunks and then resurface and pack. My question is, how can you environmentally and legally do that with a hazard material? And then another question, would the county road department be creating a hazardous waste? So you have to remove the chunks, so you would have hazardous waste in, okay? Now, with that in mind, would you have to require a environmental impact statement with the DEQ? Question that has to be answered. What kind of dust suppressant would be safe enough to put down while this, process is going on? Now, it would seem to me that now you have to involve your county attorney and the health department to litigate. Also, learned in one of your prior commissioner meetings that the road department plans to put spray bars on their water trucks. The water trucks would then go out and dump this dust pod material prior to road grading. I can't understand why you would put a known carcinogen in the public domain. And I've got some questions. If you guys wanna yes and no this thing to make it simple, that's fine and dandy with me, but I'm gonna go ahead and read the questions. Was there any discussion over the material safety data sheets on dust pods?
Before we used it?
Yes.
No.
Was there any research done on acrylamide? Prior to the Corbin Road project, was there any contact with the state DEQ of environmental quality?
No, sir.
If okay, then you don't have to do the number 4. Was there any discussion about having the public making public awareness of the project on Corbin Road and that there would be a known carcinogen involved?
No.
Are there any county officials qualified and certified to make a decision of this known carcinogen, introducing it to the public domain?
There's no such person on staff in Jefferson County.
Is it fair to ask the taxpayers to pick up the cost for this cleanup?
I don't agree with that statement. So we're kind of going off the rails here. I'll kind of let you spew as much as I can take right now. There's a lot in there that I think is misinformation. Like I said, if you look through the internet, you can find whatever answer you want. We've checked and double checked and triple checked with the supplier that there is no hazardous materials in this substance that we put on the roads. And that's obvious because there's many counties and many states in this whole nation that's using this product. If it was not safe for the public and not safe for the environment, I highly doubt the EPA, the DEQ, all the federal agencies would allow this on public roads. So where you're getting your information about it being hazardous, I have no idea. You kind of hit us blindsided here. We would have to go obviously and do some research. It looks like you've done plenty of research to try to, I guess, argue with you about what this is, but again, before anybody can sell anything to a governmental agency or be able to distribute this or put this on any kind of a public road, it's got to go through stringent standards to get there. So we would have to do some checking to see what, with the information you gave us, what is true and what's false.
I fully agree. Do your research,
Thank you.
which should have been done.
Is there anyone else?
Can I just I don't wanna speak, I just wanna make a comment. That I don't know, if you don't live up there, you don't know what we're going through, but I got cars with broken windshields, rock chips, I mean, what am I gonna do, turn it into my insurance company? I don't think so, but, I mean, they gotta do something, they gotta get somebody out there for the speeders. There's only a couple of them, but I can point them out.
Sure.
And it's just insane that all my cars have broken windshields now.
Yeah. So I don't know how long you guys have lived up there. Have you lived up there for a decade?
We closed on the house on 90. We moved in late 89 and closed on the house in 90.
Was the road hard surface back?
It was dirt, and I'm telling you, I was gonna put that in my statement. When we lived out there, there was the same thing. But I'm telling you, this stuff that we've got now is so abrasive, it's a heck of a lot different than what we had years ago before the seal coated.
Okay.
And I invested a lot of money after we got that seal coated with full intentions that we would always have it. Now I'm done.
So, little bit of background, that I believe that hard surface was done by the mine up there to make it easier to go from the mine to the interstate without getting dust and mud and everything else on there. So that was a mine investment in that road. And in the meantime, all this residential development happens and they see this nice, everybody says it's a paved road, but obviously it was not a paved road, okay? So we have this road, and in the last decade, we've made call after call after call. There's potholes, there's loose gravel, there's this, there's that. You guys gotta do something with this road. I mean, we're getting beat on left and right. This road needs to be fixed. So we have this product that we obviously weren't that accustomed to, that promised you'd have a hard surface after you put this in. You grind it up, put this stuff in, you're gonna have a harder than asphalt surface. You'll never have to touch it again for years. So unbeknownst to us, it did not stick. It did not work as anticipated. And that's the mess we're in now. So we're dealing with that mess as is. I'm very apologetic, and I'll be the first one to say we screwed up. We should have talked to you guys first up there, everybody up there. Hey, we need to do something with this road. We didn't. We were promised a product that would be better than it was when we started. So that's what we're dealing with now. Moving forward, I pretty much promised everybody up there that I've been talking to that we're gonna get it back to chip seal. The county's gonna do that. But that chip seal is gonna wear out again as well. And with the status of our budget, it's shrinking every year, every year. The legislature has us on a half a rate of inflation percentage to raise our budget every year. So every year we lose a half a rate of inflation every year, and everything cost wise goes up. So we're getting to be any big road that is deteriorating is not gonna get fixed. It's not gonna happen unless the people that live up there wanna take control of the road in some kind of a financial situation, a district or whatever, to keep that road how they like it, or else it's probably gonna go back to dirt. So that's a conversation we're gonna have with you folks up there. We're gonna get it fixed. It might last 5 years, it might last 7 years, but it's gonna be right back to where it was last year before we tore it up. So the county's not gonna be able to re-chip seal that, pave it, whatever, every 7 years till who knows when. We're not gonna be able to do it unless something majorly changes. We're not gonna be able to afford to keep up these hard surface roads anymore. That's just a fact. There's no possible way, so. Something we gotta talk about, so we gotta deal with, so. In Mark's subdivision up there, they all pitch in a little bit. They have their little pot of money to do with whatever they want in their little road in their subdivision, so that's a possibility as well. So yeah, that's the problem we have. We had people complaining, fix the road. We tried to fix the road, we messed it up. Now that it's messed up, we're gonna fix it again, but we're gonna be in the same place 6 or 7 years down the line. And the next time it's gonna be, I probably won't be here, but hopefully the commissioners that are behind me will get with you guys and say, what do you wanna do with this road? It's either gonna go back to dirt, or we're gonna form a district and you guys are gonna have to pay to keep it a hard surface if that's what you want. So that's kind of my side of the story. And to answer your question, it was a dirt road to start with. The mine made a hard surface. Everybody got used to the hard surface. County had to do something with it because it was falling apart. And this is where we're at right now. So you will have a hard surface again after this spring. Whenever we can get that thing chip sealed again, you'll have a good road again, but it's only gonna last as long as it lasts.
Well, in the community, there's different stories going around. And some of the stories are that you're gonna vote for the hard re-chip seal, whatever, and you guys might not. Well, I mean, people wanna know, is it gonna be fixed, or, cause I mean, I'm gonna start selling cars. I'm not gonna drive brand new cars and have them freaking destroyed on this road.
Sure.
And I mean, shock, struts, you wanna believe the damage to all these people's cars. I mean, now you want us to pay to fix the road when everybody's gotta pay to fix their car.
Right, no, I understand, and as far as I'm committed to get the road fixed, and I don't know what I can't answer. That's why you're probably getting that story, because I'm promising I will vote to spend the money to get it back to where it was, just because we screwed up on it. As far as what these guys do and what they vote, I mean, you guys are gonna have to talk to them and see how they feel about it, because I can't make a decision as myself as a commissioner. And I think Dan was here when this all started, Craig was not, so he's kind of getting thrown into this on the backside, so. So, yeah. I can't promise you it's gonna get done, because I need these other two to follow along to spend the $70,000 to $100,000 to get that thing back to where it was. So. And it's just a fact, I mean, the county is slowly, our budget is getting smaller, and that comes out of road, and our big budgets are road and law enforcement, so. We gotta decide where that money goes.
So, I mean. Not to bring any politics into it, but maybe we could get Elon Musk in here and see where the money's going. Maybe there's some money that's being spent that shouldn't be spent.
Sure. Our
Waste.
budget's sitting out on the counter there, you can get anybody in here and take a look at it, every
I'd love to
year,
look at it.
we go through it with a fine tooth comb, every department has their different budget items, and we look at it, our budget isn't so complex as the federal government is. We look at every line item, every budget season, the commissioners do, and whoever wants to be a part of that, it's open to the public. And the budget is on the counter for everything.
I see a lot of brand new cars out there, you know, that I'm guessing that we paid for.
Like, deputies' cars.
How many years do they run them? I mean,
The
I'm
sheriff's
just
de-
saying that they could probably come up with some money to fix a really a thorn in your side, you know, I mean, if they wanted to, but I'm just not sure that they wanna fix it, but I guarantee you'd want it fixed if you drove up it at least twice a day.
That's the thing. That's the standard thing. Would you want this in your front yard?
That's one of the busiest
Would you
roads
wanna
around.
breathe this stuff?
You can't drive, when I was a kid, we used to drive up there, you'd never see another vehicle.
Right,
Now you can't go up there and there's not 5 cars coming at you.
I agree. I agree. And I think it's gonna get done. I don't think these guys have any, unless something huge happens in our budget, I don't see any reason that we can't get it done with, probably with what's left in our road budget at the end of the year, so. Our budget year ends in June, so by the time it's chip seal season, we'll have a good idea if we can take it out of the road budget. If not, we're gonna be scrambling to find money somewhere, so. But again, I've been promising everybody up there, and I'm gonna try my best to advocate with these guys that we need to get this done. We screwed it up. We had to fix it, but we fixed it wrong, essentially. You know, we had to fix it. There was no way around it. It was getting to be a safety issue the way it was, so. And we're spending more money patching potholes than we were if we just tore it up and put it back to dirt, essentially, so. But the
Well-
dust pods, I'm fairly confident. I've talked to the dust pods guys many a times, and the problem is they can't give you specific elements of their product, or else everybody else is gonna have it, right? There's some secrecy to the solution that they do, but somebody in the government has to give them authorization to put this all over the world, essentially every road in every county of the USA. You know, EPA and DEQ aren't gonna allow you to throw something on the road that is carcinogenic or bad for the fish or whatever else. And I asked him specifically on the fish, he said the only way it's gonna be dangerous to fish is if you get it so thick in there, it suffocates them. It's not hazardous to them by any means, except for by suffocation if it's too thick in the river or whatever, so.
It's the viscosity of it.
Viscosity, yeah, there you go.
Fact of the matter is, it's still on a Montana list. That acrylamide is still on the Montana list.
Yeah, I have no idea. That's something we'd have to figure out.
See, that should have been a known, that should have been explained from day one.
But you might take the time, if you want, look at magnesium chloride, look at that, see what that is, because that's on that's probably been on your road at some point. It's everywhere. If you look deep enough into that, you're probably gonna find something in there that's not good for everybody, or the fish, or the deer, or whatever. I mean, there's
Well, it's,
products we use, asphalt itself is a hazardous substance, so. Yeah, so we can find hazard in anything that we use.
Fine and dandy, because it's not in your front yard. You don't have to deal with it or breathe it.
Right. So, I mean, you've given us your problem, I've tried to explain what our problem is, and now we need to find a solution. The
Like I
solution.
said, we have to mitigate it.
What's that?
mitigate the solution on this. I said that right in that statement.
We need to figure out the solution
You
and
have to understand it, sir, if you don't get rid of some certain mindset, you're not gonna solve the problem.
Right. And we love when people come in and tell us their problems, but at the same time, that doesn't any good without any kind of a solution, so. We don't have any money, what's the solution? I wanna try to make sure that dust is mitigated until we can get to the place where we can decide on this chip seal. So I've been talking to the road department, make sure we're not dusting up there. If we gotta get water on there, we may have to throw mag chloride on there for a few weeks just to get it. So it's not dusting up, so. So we're watching it closely, and again, I've driven up there several times in my car, and I feel for you, honestly do. My car would probably be in pieces if I had to drive that twice a day like you guys do, so. Mark, did you have anything? I think you're the only one.
I had no intention of speaking. I was just
Okay.
kind of more curious about what was going on, but it's something that you guys have said, and you and I have had some conversations, is just going forward, because we already know what the history is here. And I'm thinking beyond, I'm gonna assume a perfect sphere here, and that all three of you gentlemen see fit to going forward, and we getting this road back to, I would call it a double shot instead of just one chip seal.
Yep.
But the point that I think sticks with me is beyond that.
Right.
You're still in the position the county is, and we're the county as well. They only got about $500,000, if I remember right, on your budget for roads, and anybody of the three of you, I don't know how many miles you have to divide that 500,000 against. What's a rough number of how many miles you guys have to take care of?
Trying to think, was it 400?
No, it's more than that. It's like, I just heard it too, and I don't wanna, I'm not gonna give you an exact number, cause I don't know what it is.
It could be a swag.
But I wanna say somewhere around 857.
So,
For some reason that sticks in my head.
Yeah.
But I could be wrong.
So I'm trying to think of, again, let's assume the perfect sphere and make a double shot on that, and you're right, that thing's gonna age out, we got a little more traffic on. Gonna have as heavy traffic as you did when the mine was there, of course. But your budget's not getting any bigger. So that means gonna have to go find some money. Do you, how
Well,
can I, as a citizen up there, help you guys? Is it go continually beat on Marta's door or representative? Is there something legislatively that could be done to increase your guys' funding? Because the math's pretty simple, even if we did 500 miles divided by 500,000, person can do that math pretty quick, even without an abacus. So maybe once the road is sorted out, and again, we'll assume a double shot. Does it make sense to try and get some participation from people in that area? Form a committee, start looking at R&D, as you said, I don't remember what, I think we're about $465 or $500 a year, on our R&D. We already blew 30,000 in our subdivision or thereabouts, on patching on one of Wild Rose. I think we got a few more bucks in their checking account to go finish Wild Rose. And I think you may have mentioned it, it's kind of struck with me, perhaps we could look at the money that we're paying in our R&D. And then look at other people that live along that road and start figuring, a 7-year. Another chip seal on it, and eventually you put chip seal, you start ending up building some structure in it over time. But getting some, it seems like money and communications are probably the two biggest issues. Once we get beyond that point, to the extent that I can help, once that hits there, I would be happy to participate in that.
And right now I've got our planner kind of looking at the circle of people that use Corbin Road, just to get an idea how many properties, if we did decide, not we wouldn't decide, the folks would decide
Yeah,
through petition to put in an RMD. And figure out the costs associated with that and kind of give you an idea, is it gonna cost you $200 a year to keep this thing up, or is it gonna cost you $1,000 a year? It doesn't, you have no idea until you do the math on it, so we're in the process of looking at that right now.
well, and if I have it right, paid off our loan, and I again really appreciate you folks doing that. That money's still being collected. I I think if we ran our math, we'd find out that whatever we were paying on that loan, that amount could probably easily be shifted to the Wicks Corbin Road.
Right.
And now start running the math on that, of 70 or 100,000 a year every 5 years, and how many other people need to toss in $200 a year to,
Sure.
do the road? Anyhow, it's bad.
It's
I know you
bad.
guys aren't happy, you're no happier than we are, we just get to live the dream every day.
Yeah, you guys gotta deal with that, yeah, for sure.
But I guess that's all I can say is, once you get to the point where you gentlemen have determined what you wanna do with that road, if you need somebody to kind of working group, whatever, after it gets going, I would be happy to participate.
I'm pretty sure we'll get doing that, at least starting a conversation on what they want that road to be, because we all know what it's gonna be if we don't keep it up as a hard surface.
The other thing, I did try, I went to our transportation commissioner for this area,
Right.
and I'll tell you, that doesn't act like it did in the 70s at all. It used to be, they would help you out,
Yeah.
that doesn't happen anymore.
But the legislature thinks the counties are all rich, that we're overfunded, that we have way too much money. I mean, that's just the sentiment on the Hill. And even last year, or last session, when they had some marijuana money, we were supposed to get a part of that. That was a part of a bill that split all that marijuana money up, and those counties was supposed to get part of it for recreation and roads and stuff like that. The governor nixed that,
Yeah.
so.
I still, I talked to you about, what I can't understand is why you guys don't have the horsepower, and this should be at the legislative level, to impose a gas tax countywide. And I'm not thinking about us, I don't wanna pay it, I
Right.
want everything free like everybody else, I
Right.
want my taxes to be zero every year. But I think about the volume of traffic and how many gallons Canellis are selling in every station in this county,
Oh, yeah.
diesel and otherwise, and if you could get a penny off of every gallon of diesel and gas that's being sold to every tourist, how you
Right.
come up with a rebate for the local people, you guys wouldn't know what to do with the money,
Right.
you know?
Absolutely.
Anyhow, and that's all blue sky. And that's all I have to say.
Thanks, Mark. Appreciate it.
I think I'd add to that is, my concern is in listening to you, and I can understand the angerment of it. But when other people, and I appreciate you guys being here because you're representing it, but those that talk and don't show up, and then they get everybody else and expect them to do it for them. Again, I appreciate you guys. I think what a person should do is find out what's real and what isn't. And if not, please come to us. And honestly, Commissioner Kirsch has a lot more knowledge than me, even though if I grew up there, but that's for that road. But he can set it straight so you understand one way or another what's actually going on, instead of somebody saying, hey, do you know what they're doing? Because I can see that part of it going on here right now, a little bit, because of what other things that have been said, but they're not here to represent. So I would ask that, to be honest. And Brian, I just ask you is, have you tried calling the sheriff's office? Have you gotten, if you have you gotten any results for them coming out?
No,
You
I
tried
know,
calling
I
them?
know, everybody comes up to my shop and talks to me about
Right.
the road.
Right.
And I know people that call, and I see the same people doing 80 miles an hour past my house. They pull them over and they give them a warning.
Oh.
And I'm like, that doesn't work. They gotta feel it in their pocketbook. But same people slide off the road in the winter, nothing ever happens to them.
Again, I seen it, I seen the, dump trucks pulling a tandem axle trailer with a 80,000 pound excavator going in a 14 ton tandem axle load. Called the state, called the county. State went up there, the county went up there, state came back and said, yeah, we got him at 93,000 pounds. Didn't do anything. See that time and time again.
Yeah. That's why.
Doesn't
the
get
original
enforced.
roads fell apart.
Even if you call somebody, nobody does anything about it, so what the heck?
It would be nice if somebody got cited, a couple of them,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
amazing how Facebook, that would get out pretty doggone quick.
I mean, if it's somebody sees somebody down there with the lights going, it's a deterrent, but until they get written a ticket, they're just like, as soon as those lights are gone,
Mhm.
And I'm telling you, there's a couple, that's all there is, but
We're working on investing in some speed signs, and they not only flash the speed, but they keep track of every vehicle. Speed out there, so we can get a feel, okay, 90% everybody's going over the speed limit, or only 2% is going over the speed limit. We're gonna try that. That'll give us some weight with the sheriff saying, okay, we got this road out there that, you know, over 50% everybody coming down that road is speeding, so we need to take a look at that. So that's another tool.
you just have it take the picture of their license.
Yeah,
plate.
that'd be nice. Yeah.
That's what happened to me in Arizona.
Yeah, I don't think Montana's there yet.
Yeah, yes.
I don't think we're ready for that, but.
Well, if you just get a flashing light that gives the appearance of.
Yeah, well, just having that speed pop up, some people use it as a challenge to see how fast they can go, but at least the honest people, you'll be able to tell what they're traveling, and it's hard sometimes for people to judge how fast somebody's going standing in their driveway, but anyways, we're working on that as well.
Current road condition actually helps.
Yeah,
Maybe
probably slow them
speeds
down
just
a little bit.
you know, it's.
Yeah.
Or it gets you broken windows.
Yeah, no kidding, no matter how fast you're going.
Well, by the time they get down to my house, they're probably doing 60 miles an hour.
The
But
bad.
I've been dealing with that forever out there.
You're right, yeah, the smoother the road is, the faster they go.
Is your house the one with the metallic Minuteman? Right
Yes.
there? Yeah, I figured that was you, okay.
And like I said, I've got a business out there and I've lost money. Not only that, I have a autoimmune problem with my rheumatoid arthritis, and my biologic is through the roof. My insurance don't cover that. I have to pay that out of my pocket. And now with the dust that was out there, I got no means of doing that. I don't know what it's like if you fellas ever had a flare up, an arthritis flare up, but I'm gonna tell you something. They do not make a drug strong enough to knock that pain out of you. And I deal with this simply because of the dust issues, and that's the only way I can make the money to pay for that stuff.
Yeah, keep communicating with us. If it starts getting dusty, let me know. So, like I say, we're gonna try to keep it watered down so we don't have dust until we can get it fixed. And if it becomes a long-term thing where it just dries up and we still have several weeks to do what we need to do, then we're gonna probably hit it with something like mag chloride that we know will keep it down until we can get it coated. So, keep in communication with us.
And if you have any questions or concerns, please reach out to us. I mean, again, we appreciate you showing up. But so there's clarification here. It sounds like you got some breakdown of communications from other entities that are giving you that information.
That's why I came, just to find out
Oh, absolutely.
what,
No, that's why I say
what the
that.
real story is.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we appreciate that. We have a road meeting every Tuesday morning, and you can watch, have you watched yeah, okay, you have access to that. You can kind of see what's going on. I try to talk to Bear about Corbin Road almost every Tuesday morning, just to see where we're at on it, and so if you get on there, at least watch that.
Well, I don't know, this is a sediment some people come to my shop and talk about, and they feel we're being punished because so many people are calling in. But that last dumping of snow we had and the plow job they gave us, the school bus and the UPS truck could not pass.
Right.
That's insane. So whoever's doing that job, I mean, they might want to get a pink slip or something. I mean, it's just, that's never happened. I mean, I've driven that road my whole life. Never happened.
We got new drivers,
happens
we got
now.
people off that week. That was the perfect storm for getting a bad job, so that was just what happened during that event. And we're usually right up front with the school bus. We try to be there and make sure the bus is safe and where it needs to be, and that day, it didn't happen, so.
And I actually drove up there that afternoon with the snow because of the calls we were getting about the plow. And I think part of the problem is plow drivers are a little concerned about getting off the road into the ditch, dumping a truck. And when I was up there, it was still snowing a little bit, and I could tell it was plowed if I got out of my truck. If I was in my truck just driving down the road, it was just all white. You couldn't even hardly tell there was a berm on the side of it. Even though there was, it didn't look that way. And I didn't want to drive too close to the edge either.
Right? You don't want to hit that berm because you could be into oncoming traffic. That's my
Exactly, and
concern,
then
but they were plowed
so-
that far from the reflector poles. I mean,
Yeah,
you can't be a county snowplow driver and not be able to tell a distance like that. I mean,
Yeah, and we had an issue where the pin in the plow broke and left a berm right in the middle of the road, and they didn't come back up with another piece of machinery, and it was hanging out maybe a quarter into the road. That was a big mistake there, but yeah, there was mistakes made during that storm. It was a mess, so.
Not just on Corbin Road, trust
I
me.
know, I know. I'm just saying that people get the effect that we're being punished, so.
Well, I live in the same situation and we did an RMD on the main road. It's not, it goes to my house in a roundabout way, but it was dirt for years and now it's chip sealed. And honestly, if I had my choice, I'd go back to dirt for the simple fact that our traffic has increased. People like driving on pavement. The speeds have increased. I don't dare take my dogs out on it like I used to. And it's better to drive on, but there's a trade-off with it.
It's just, when you add up the shocks, struts, paint chips, windshields,
Yep.
I mean, car washes.
Yep.
I mean, you see how much you gotta spend as a car wash to wash that crap off your car. I mean, it's a win-win situation to have chip seal.
Yeah, it definitely, what it turned out was definitely not our intention. Honestly, if we'd have known then what we know now, we wouldn't have put that on it. If we'd had to put it back to dirt, but obviously we would have talked to you folks first. I think that was our biggest mistake, was not getting with everybody up there saying, hey, we gotta do something with this. We're gonna try this new thing. I mean, a little bit of buy-in from the public up there would have been a lot better than
I
what we
think if
did.
you would have done that, nobody would have said to do
Right.
that. They would have said, just leave it. Cause I was so fine riding over, somebody comes, you pull over
Right.
and hit some bumps, but
Yeah.
it wasn't that near as bad as it is now.
Yeah, those potholes were getting bad to where, I mean, it was costing us a whole bunch of money to fill those up every year. It was just getting, and we were getting beat on bad. I don't know how many calls we were getting every day because of that road. Just because of the potholes, and it was getting bumpy and people were bouncing. Yeah, we had to do something, and what we did was wrong, so.
I have a question. That went down, the mine provided it.
Twice.
Double shot.
Well, they provided materials the second time, plus they raised the road bed 20 inches high.
So I guess what I'm looking at is service life of that road. That's a double shot. The county puts it down. If it went down in whatever year, and assume that maybe 5 years ago, it really needed resuscitating. And that was heavy truck traffic, obviously. It wasn't, a bunch of 4,000-pound cars going down the road.
That was one of the reasons why they raised that level of that road bed up.
I'm just thinking out loud, which is not a good thing, but the cost probably wouldn't be that difficult on people in the form of an RMD if you're looking at 7-year cycle and assume 3% inflation or whatever.
Well, when the construction eases up there, it's gonna make a huge difference. That's what's beating, this is killing those roads, the cement trucks and
Yeah.
the equipment going up there and turning off the road and the tires sliding. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just killing the roads, the construction. I think the road lasted a long time because there wasn't a lot of construction. They were just back and forth up there to the mine, but.
Believe you me, you drive Wild Rose, up until last year. And it just amazed me that a double shot could last as long as it did, and then when it went,
It goes fast.
yeah.
So no new construction then, right?
Yeah.
Simple solution.
Yeah. You think you wanna sue us, wait till those guys, to tell them we're not gonna let them do it, then we'll really get sued.
I've seen the machinery when, well, mom was still up there, but they'd come up there on weekends. And who's gonna be out on patrol, whether it be motor carrier services or anybody, that's the problem. I thought they were being sort of sneaky about it, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
I saw a lot of that. So,
Thank you for being here, gentlemen.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
Thanks for listening.
you want me to?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thanks for putting up with me.
Oh, no.
guys, have a good one.
Yeah.
You
too.
Thanks for what you do.
Thank you for coming in.
You bet.
Thanks, Brian.
See you all later.
Yep, take care. I gotta step out just for a minute. Oh, but you guys proceed. I'll be back in a second. You guys can get along without me 2 minutes.
Oh, only 2 minutes off.
Maybe 5.
All right. All right, that's pretty much on that. I mean, just for that discussion, was something else. I'm gonna turn to, what do we got? Oh, that's it. Okay. these guys haven't had a chance if they wanted to say anything. Well, she's on the phone.
I
Jody, you
got
have,
nothing, I got nothing, guys, but thank you.
oh, okay,
Thanks,
Connor.
Connor.
Jody, are you waiting on this other? Or you have anything to say other than the library stuff?
Yes, I'm waiting on the library stuff and I just got back from MLA.
Oh,
I have some different programs that this state is opening up to not only libraries, but to counties. So I want to get a chance to sit down and talk with you and let you know what's going on.
okay, yeah, just work it at your convenience and get on the agenda and we can do that.
Sounds good.
Thank you. Okay, moving along, because Teresa's on the phone. This is a proclamation of Strengthening Families Month. What it is, proclamation of the Jefferson County Commission proclaiming April Strengthening Families Month. Whereas Jefferson County's future depends on the healthy development of our children. And whereas healthy development of our children depends on strong families, caregivers, and parents. And whereas parents are strengthened through support systems consisting of families, friends, community-based resources, and public resources. And whereas our community must draw together to support the strengthening of families. Now therefore, we the Commissioners of Jefferson County do hereby acclaim April 2025 Strengthening Families Month in Jefferson County to support the physical, emotional, social, and educational well-being of children and their families, dated this first day of April 2025. Okay. Let's see, so we need a motion. Motion to approve.
I would make a motion that we approve proclamation of Jefferson County Commission
Yeah,
proclaiming April Strengthening Families Month.
okay, I would second that. All those in favor?
I,
Okay, this will be done. Moving along, appointing board members. What you got, Ellen? Okay. Have you had a chance to see this? You have? Okay, go ahead. I've met this individual. And Jody, correct me, so they hear it from you. This was your the board's recommendation, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Well, he's not in here, so. Let's see, any, oh, okay, you have any questions?
No.
Okay. I move for a motion.
I would make a motion that we appoint Ashley McCauley to the library board.
Okay, I would second that. And no other discussion, then all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, Jody, she's
Yeah.
it. Okay, that's pretty much it. So, don't have anything else. Right, Teresa's still on the phone, so. Outside of that, you said you don't have anything else, Connor, right?
Nothing, sir.
Okay, there won't be any follow-up or anything on regards to our conversation or anything? I'm just checking.
Absolutely, but probably later this week.
Oh, okay, all right, that's why I'm asking. In other words, get ready, right?
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Yeah, okay, all right then, otherwise, we're gonna be adjourned. Thank you.
So long now, thank you.
Turn this thing. Let's see. Teresa, did you have anything to say?
No, I'm all good, thank you.
Okay, and we're on for next week, right? All right, sounds good. Okay, other than that,
Okay.
we're gonna be adjourned.
Are we done for today?
Yes, ma'am. Appreciate you.
All right, thank you.
You bet. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Bye-bye.
Let's see. Oh,
At the
and,
bottom right.
and right, There.
That too.
or, okay. Leave meeting or end meeting for all.